Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial I want to show you how you can create a car selector like that, where you can switch around the car that you want, and when you hit play you can drive the selected car. Okay, let's go. So first of all we need global variables. For this we need a game instance, so let's create one. We hit grouping class and just search for game instance like that. Let's call this car game instance, for example. And now we go to project settings, maps and modes, and then we can down under here select our car game instance. So what it does is we can store variables from all over the maps, so we can create some variables here and use it in another map. So let's open this up, and in this case we need two variables. So the first one will be the car. This will be an skeleton mesh object reference like that, and the second thing will be the car animation. For this we select the vehicle animation instance as a class reference like that. Great. So the selection of the cars is an HUD, so let's create one. We go to user interface and create a widget. This will be the car selector. Let's open this up. And now we just need a button like that, just for the example. And inside this we put a text block, and here we say next, and then we can, let's say we name the button next as well, and then we can just say copy paste, put this inside here, and this will be the previous like that. And then we can also name the button like that. So and the last thing we need is just a play button right here, that just called play. And we name the button as well. Great. So now we go to our graph and we can delete this. And when we select our next button, as you can see, we have the events, and then we just say on clicked for every button like that. Okay, so we want the next and previous button first of all, and now we need a few variables. So the first one will be the cars that we can select, so this will be an array, and we need some skeleton mesh object references. Compile and save that, and when we now hit plus, and now we can select the sports car, the hatchback, the SUV, the pickup, and the sedan, for example. So now we need another variable that will be the car animations, and this will be a vehicle animation instance, and also we as an array. So let's create as well here the array elements, so be sure that it's the same order. So the sports car, the hatchback, so then we have the SUV, the pickup, and the sedan animation. Great. So, and the last variable that we need is the car index. And this will be just an integer as a single variable. Okay. So let's get started with the car index. We will get it, and what we have to do with the car index in this case is we say integer plus another integer, can leave it to 1, and we want an integer minus another integer of course, for next and previous. So then we take our car index, we'll set it, can copy and paste that here. So this will be set it +1, and this will be set it -1, like that. Okay. So next thing will be get actor of class. Put this to here. Copy and paste that down here. So now we need a class to select. So let's go back to our car selector here and let's create a root class. Let's search for vehicle, in this case wheeled vehicle, and we call this selector. Open it up, and now we need an example mesh in this case. So we have the mesh. Let's, for example, select the sports car like that. And now we want like a presentation platform. So we go to the cylinder like that. And let's make it much bigger. So like that. And let's put it in the middle of the car like that. No, that's okay. So, and then we can close this and put this into the world, so like that. And now when we spin it, you can see it spins the whole actor. Great. So what else do we need is a camera actor. So let's go to the basic one, cinematic, or just search for camera in this case. Put it right here. And you can make the position as you like. So like that. No, that's okay. Great. So the next thing, we go back to our car selector, and now we can select the selector like that and like that. Great. So because we want to set a few things from the selector, so let's open up the selector, and now we use our event begin play. Then we say cars to car game instance that's recreated, and now we say get game instance like that. And what we can do now is we go from our car game instance and say set car, so that will be set at the first place. And for example, let's say the sports car is the first one that will be showed, and as well we want set car animation, and of course set the sports car animation as a default, like that. Great. So now we go back to our car selector. So now we just delete this one here and put this inside here. What we now need is our cars. We say get copy, and as well for the car animations like that. And then we take our car index right here and here. Great. So now we just have to say, we go from the return value and say set skeleton mesh like that. And now we just have to connect this one with here, and the new mesh will be the copy. And as well, we need this for the animations, but we do this later. First of all, we need to cast to our car animation instance. Get instance, in this case game instance, right here. And now we want to set the car variable from the game instance with this here. And we want to set the car animations like that. So this will be our switch cars, and now we need something to switch the buttons so that this get visible or hidden, depends on the index of the car. So let's take our car index right here and check integer equal, check if it's 4. So this will be the last integer because it's 5 cars and the 0 counts as well. And the second question is the car index 0? So we need a branch here to ask if it's false. Then we need another branch to ask if it is the last car index. So what we have to do here is we take our next button and the previous button and set visibility for both buttons like that. So on true, so that means the car index is on the end. The next button will be hidden. Let's copy and paste this. And on false, that means both button has to be visible like that. And the last situation would be that the car index is 0. So then will be the next button visible and the previous button hidden. Like that. Great. So let's go to our project settings and be sure that under maps and modes the default game mode is just game mode. Okay. And we open up our level blueprint, and now we need an begin play event like this. And the first thing is we pull this out here and take our camera actor, pull this right into our level blueprint, and the first thing we want is set view target, where it is, with blend, like that, because this will be that the first thing that you see will be the out of the camera actor, so you will control the camera. So let's create take the new target inside here. Then we need to say get player controller. This will be the target, like that. And now what we need to do is we say create widget, and then we select our car selector, of course. And we can from get player controller on the all-in player. So next thing is add to viewport and put the return value inside the target here. The next thing is set input mode UI only, so that you can just control the mouse. Then again from the get player controller inside the player controller, like that. And the last thing is that we say set show mouse cursor, so that we can see what we select. Put this on true, and again get player controller into the target. Great. So on begin play, the camera actor will be controlled. Set up the widget that we created, put it to the viewport, and then fix the control mode to UI only, so that we just control the widget. Great. So when we now hit play, oh yes, of course we have to fix something here. We go back to the selector, and let's say we go to the mesh, and we deactivate simulate generic events and simulate physics. So compound save that as well for the cylinder. Yes. When we now hit play, it will stand there, and we can, as you can see, select next. The next button disappears, and when we go back, it disappears as well. So we now just have to create a function for the play button. It's pretty easy. So let's go back to our car selector, and here's our event on click on play. So this is just open level by object reference. So now we need a map that we can select. So let's create one. Let's go to new level and make a default. Pull this up a little bit like that. Then we can delete the player start and save this on the test driving or whatever you want. Open up the level blueprint, and what we need here is just the event begin play. And the first thing we have to do is set input mode game only, so that we are able to control the car. Get player controller again, like that. And then we want to spawn actor from class. And for example, let's spawn the sedan, like that. Car game instance, so cars 2. Put this inside here. As well, get game instance again, like that. Then we can put this inside here. So, and now what we have to do is we say go from the return value and say set skeleton mesh, like that. And the new mesh will be get car inside here. And as well, we need this for the car animations, so we go as well inside here, set anim instance class, like that. And as well, from the instance, we say get car animations, put this inside here. And the last thing we need is an poses, where it is, here. So the get player controller will be the target, and the spawn will be the return value, like that. Of course, we pull out the spawn transform and say promote to variable. Then we compile this, and let's put the Z value of the location like 300, like that. Okay, so the level will be loaded, put the input mode back to game only, spawn the sedan, and set the skeleton mesh and the animation instance to what we select in the car selector before, and then will we control the car. So let's test if it's working. So let's open up our car selector menu again. So the last thing we have to do is select our test driving map, go to the car selector and put it right here. Then we go to our designer, select the previous button and make sure it is set to hidden. Okay, and now a little fun part, just that the platform is rotating, we say add rotating movement. And when we open the details of this, we can say we want that the Z is, let's say, 50. And then we compile and save that, and we can now test it. It drives in circles. We can select the car that we want, like that. And when we hit play, we can drive with the selected car around. Great! So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, please let me know. And yeah,